for Frodo. The sacred Jedi texts!
Why is it that in the last several years, we haven't seen many heroic characters and stories anymore? Even anti-heroes have become strained, being written with a smug grin and joking at every single thing happening.
I was going to say something witty and cutting and brutal before I finished you off. But
undercutting every moment in post-ironic humor. It really feels like only anime and older games and movies or shows have given us well-written heroes like Aragorn or Cloud, and even anti-heroes like Arthur Morgan and Joel Miller. Why are current year stories written so poorly? TLDR, it's because the people that are hired use their platforms to write garbage! I could just say that, and I would be correct, but let's go ahead and judge the properties themselves off of their own merit. Yo, this is ZeroEchoZenith, coming to you live at time of recording, and I just want to tell you all, I miss heroic characters. Genuinely heroic characters that have principles and flaws. I am tired of newer games, shows, and movies favoring poorly written anti-heroes that overshadow a hero in their journey, because regular heroes don't have enough flair, I guess? Guess what? It's now oversaturated. Way oversaturated. Anime, older games, films, and TV have created well-written, relatable heroes and anti-heroes, but the past 10 years have been flooded with countless pieces of media that have subverted or deconstructed stories and the essence of what it means to be a genuine hero, equating to post-ironic, poorly written, cynical garbage. I want to give some examples of what I think are good heroes and anti-heroes, and contrast them with the writing of characters or franchises that deteriorate the essence of heroism and the subversion of the line between good and evil. What makes a genuine hero? A noble hero. Top point that I personally have is that they show empathy and kindness. Empathy is the essence of a genuine hero character. They can be driven by a sense of justice, duty, or dreams. They also tend to have a selfless quality to them, integrity and courage. Not the absence of fear, but the will to push on regardless. The true metal of a character is doing the right thing even if it's difficult. They can definitely have flaws, anything from doubt, recklessness, fear, and yes, even selfish decisions, which makes them human. But these flaws don't break their morality. They learn and grow throughout their journey, and they inspire hope in others. Let's look at some examples. So I've been watching One Piece recently. Monkey D. Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy is a great character. He's the embodiment of what a folk hero is. The people's hero, even though he hates that title and much prefers to be known as the pirate that he is. His dream is to become king of the pirates, and while he's an impulsive, reckless character, he's quick to come to the aid of anyone in need. It makes him have this stubborn selflessness that is his main trait. His actions tell the audience that he is a straight-up hero and unashamed of who he is. One of the first truly heroic characters that I've witnessed as a child would be Lord of the Rings' Aragorn. He starts off dark and mysterious as Strider, growing into his role as a protector, warrior, and eventually a king. Without him and his leadership, the armies of Gondor and Rohan would have fallen at the Black Gate of Mordor. We relate to his struggle with his lineage due to his fear of being tempted and corrupted if he were to take the crown, eventually accepting himself and his place in the world, and his undying will and heroism in the face of absolute evil. This dude rocks! He's a great hero. He's like the benchmark. In Final Fantasy VII, Cloud is a very interesting hero because he undergoes a critical transformation over the course of the game. Remake Part 3 is coming out, so I don't want to spoil anything about his character, like his full character arc, for a 28-year-old game, but I will say that while he's normally seen like a jerk, his pragmatism and level-headedness keeps the party in check and evens them out. While he's haunted by his trauma and loss, he still joins with Barrett, Tifa, and Aerith and chooses to fight for the planet to put an end to Sephiroth's ambitions of global annihilation. When you begin to realize that it's just a tough guy act that he's putting on, you feel for him as he overcomes his fears and failure, and after his full character arc, again, no spoilers, he becomes the hero that he always wanted to be and pushes the party to their best. He's a great character for his cringe self.
Cringe.
His sheer resolve and even his vulnerability. So with some examples, here's why they all shine. Games and anime like Final Fantasy VII's storytelling deliver heroes who inspire without cynical garbage twists. 7's theme is loss and overcoming that loss. You have Barrett trying his best to be a good father to Marlene while dealing with the loss of his Avalanche members. Tifa being empathetic to everyone while feeling like Cloud is no longer the person she used to know. And Aerith wishing to help others and save the planet while silently missing the late Zack Fair and her own mother. Contrast that with slop dialogue and storytelling of current year stories.
I just moved with my freaking mind!
I think it's time for Jack to let her rip.
What makes an anti-hero? A hero who is struggling. They're usually driven by personal motives, like searching for redemption, for survival, or they act out of love for someone, and often cross some kind of moral line. Not to be confused with morally gray characters, that's kind of different in my opinion. They still have a sense of principles while acting in their self-interest. They're still a hero, just a bit more unconventional. They are powerful and compelling characters that grip us with their plights. First up, Arthur Morgan. While you can make him as good or evil as you want in your playthrough, in the story, he seeks personal redemption for his outlaw background. His journal and camp talks and overall storyline are brilliantly written, showing his loyalty to Dutch and the others and his guilt as the missions progress. Watching the deterioration of his relationship between him and Dutch is also pretty brutal. His push against his past crimes and, depending on how you have Arthur interact with others, his strive to redeem himself and makes him out to be a well-rounded anti-hero. And then we've got The Last of Us, 1. Not 2, 1. Joel Miller must survive a weird mushroom zombie apocalypse. It's the clickers, man, the clickers. Grieving over the loss of his family, his choices matter in determining the fate of the world. I'm just going straight to the bottom line. And he chooses to save Ellie, a girl that he met and cared for, potentially dooming humanity. His story of overcoming grief, coupled with the love and loyalty he has for Ellie, makes him a pretty cool anti-hero father figure, acting in his self-interest to protect what he believes is important, no matter the cost. The reason why they work, unlike current year anti-heroes that keep undermining serious moments with a dumb, stupid quip.
Not in a million years. What the hell is this?
Or they're just edgy for the sake of edginess. The depth of these characters and the actions that they take, which affects everyone around them for better or worse, feels more earned. These stories have real emotional weight, makes them more interesting and compelling. While you can have a quip-filled anti-hero, I'm just saying that right now it feels like every single person is a quip-filled anti-hero. I'm done with the quips. Stop. Be serious, please, but not too edgy. I like edgy. I do. I do like edgy heroes. They're cool. There's just so many. Like, look, okay, we do tend to like seeing an edgy hero because it's different from the norm. It's a twist on the generic protagonist formula. Like, over time, I'm now starting to feel that it's even become a belief that a valiant hero or a hero that stands for something to aspire to is seen as a boring trope or a vanilla mindset. That people can't connect with more noble heroes because they have impossible standards to meet. You can't have somebody that is honest and just a good person because human beings must be told that they're trash and they'll never be good enough. It's all the more reason to have those paragons of virtue. It's to set a standard to try and uplift others to aspire to. Oh, but since heroes have always been icons for generations, why not spice it up with an anti-hero? Okay, fine, fair enough. Counterpoint, what this mindset created for current generation writers has been a flood of hero deconstructions that, while some stories have been genuinely great, I will admit, many more have been poorly written, upsetting the balance of genuine heroes that show responsibility, sacrifice, and empathy. Now, they're much harder to find, unless you look at anime. Don't get me wrong, however, a former villain with a redemption arc that pushes them into an anti-hero or true hero status is a beloved storyline trope, and people love that, and I would agree. However, the line has to be set between redemption and ambiguity, good and evil. Again, that's just my opinion. I find it funny that we've also been seeing a twist on the hero formula again with remakes of beloved IP. Things like having a revisionist mindset that the villain is a sympathetic victim of circumstance and fully justified in their actions, and the hero is seen as a toxic person. It dilutes the stories being told, trying to state that the heroes were actually the real monsters all along. It's malicious writing at worst, schlock at best. Anime in most games before 2015, and some in the last 10 years, have written better heroes that have more things to aspire to than any form of media. That's why manga has infinitely better sales than most Western-written books today. One Piece's unabashed freedom and the fight for what is the right thing to do, and Final Fantasy VII Remake's portrayal of characters, is a model of genuine heroism and complexity. Wait, maybe One Piece is not that complex. Moving on, I'm gonna talk about some subversive characters now.
Stop!
I'm gonna go for the low-hanging fruit. Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. Yep, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on it. Luke's deconstruction was so messy, and he had a death scene that didn't really even feel earned. I will never know why they thought writing him as a failed teacher and depressed hermit got through screening. The lightsaber throw was a great example of Disney's respect to the character's legacy, and a gotcha subversion of expectations. It just felt like that he was a hurdle to get over to push Rey into her protagonist role. It was pure character assassination with his refusal to act like a true hero, like in Return of the Jedi. Luke is supposed to be the epitome of what a hero is, who is a kind, forgiving, brave hero who never gives up on others. In the original expanded universe, he was a noble heroic character who saw the good in people even if they seemingly seemed beyond saving or redemption. At the end of Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, for example, Luke straight up says that he still senses the good in the main character even when they join the dark side at the end.
Yoda and Ben were both great teachers, yet even they lost students. I can still sense good in him. There's always hope, Kyle. Remember that.
He still never gives up on you. It's a very powerful character trait that they soiled all for the sake of subverting your expectations, making him into a sad, lonely man. Nobody beats up Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, and it's totally justified. Next up is the Suicide Squad. Yay. I'm sick of the Suicide Squad, I'm sorry. Harley Quinn is a cool character, but not like this. Putting the squad on a pedestal, they continue to try and make this a working team in media, but I feel it corrupts what heroes are. They're morally gray villains who are used as a tool to do heroic things, but their selfish, narcissistic nature outweighs the qualities of what anti-heroes are. I guess that's the point of them, though. Yeah. No, I don't refer to them as anti-heroes, really. They're thugs. And what they did in Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, it ruined that IP as well, all for shock value. Harley talking down to Batman and with the way the writing felt malicious before she kills him was a slap in the face of countless fans. It was awful. Only to, in the end of the game's lifespan, the game's dead by the way, they say that the Justice League that they fought against were only clones. Yeah, it was supposed to be like the Justice League was corrupt and you have to kill them because they can't be saved. Yeah, it's like, oh no, they were clones. The real Justice League is somewhere else. It didn't matter. Killing the heroes that fans have looked up to for years didn't sit right with anyone. Who knew?
What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
In the Rings of Power, the show places the orcs in a positive light. Yes, a sympathetic light, which in the Tolkien universe goes against everything that he wrote. There's a scene where there's this orc expressing his reluctance to go to war, wanting to stay in Mordor with his family, which includes a woman and a child orc, I guess. This framing of orcs being seen as oppressed beings wishing for a home humanizes them. It actually, humanizes Tolkien orcs, making them products of their circumstances and aren't inherently evil. Tolkien specifically made orcs evil. No ifs, ands, or buts. They are evil. Not in this universe. Go to Warcraft if you want sympathetic orcs, or D&D. Elder Scrolls, whatever. This blurred the lines between good and evil for this entire IP just with this one scene. Orcs in the Tolkien universe are unambiguously evil. They were literally created to be evil beings that corrupt and destroy and ruin the creations of man. They are not sympathetic creatures. They were originally corrupted elves, spawning this new race and specifically bred for war. It's an actual garbage depiction of a force of true evil by a Dark Lord. The Dark Lord Sauron. Why? These are just some examples. Deconstructive stories and a subversion of expectations have been slowly creeping through movies and shows over the last 25 years, only really making more of an impact in the last 10 years or so. And audiences over time have noticed a pattern of mishandled deconstructions, a reliance on Reddit humor, and narrative choices that pretty much alienate fans. So what's the point of this video? We need genuine heroes. We do. We just do. Not only anti-heroes, but heroes that do the right thing because they're good people, and despite their flaws or weaknesses, overcome them and achieve victory over their antagonists, whether it's a singular villain, an ideal, or the world itself. Heroes inspire people. They have traits and qualities that people can admire and try to emulate. They don't have to be perfect, but they shouldn't be shut down or dismantled with no payoff. Overcoming their insecurities, their weaknesses, their challenges shows that we can relate to them in their own lives without always defaulting to morally gray, ambiguous characters. Heroes are characters that can show the potential of what humans are capable of, the good in humanity, and villains show the evils of what they can become. The essence of human nature could be seen through the conflict between protagonists and antagonists. Genuine heroes are our gateway to ideals and principles to help teach others what is right. Newly written stories can learn a great deal from Aragorn or Lord of the Rings as a whole. His story is still one of the best examples, in my opinion, of what makes a hero with flaws and principles. We relate to a hero's growth and journey, and an anti-hero's flaws, yet the will to do what is right. Who's a hero or an anti-hero that resonates with you? Me? I'm a fan of Link, of course. He stays true to himself and pushes on, courage and hope in his heart. Give us real heroes again, both men and women. That's pretty much it. Thank you, everybody. This is ZeroEchoZenith signing off. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next time.